As the old Hollywood saying goes, after sex, some of us leaned against the headboard, proud of our achievements in satisfying our lovers, spouse, or a one-night stand, and then light a cigarette. How are you feeling? When you get a well-deserved hit, you guess it's good enough. Or are you the kind of person who turns around immediately? You may upset your bed partner, not quite ready to catch some Z yet. Or maybe you just take a break, then calm down and start again. Hug, chat, talk about deep things, or even ask your loved one for help. According to research, these are common, but what happens to our bodies during and after sex? That's what we're going to find out on today's show. What happens to your body during sex? Today we are going to talk about what happened to two people, and women who have heterosexual sex. When we say sex, we mean intercourse, making love, sex, adultery, or as the British say, frolics. So let's start with men. What's up with him? At some point during sex, a man will reach a point of no return. This is sometimes called the inevitability of ejaculation. Pulse and blood pressure rise, sperm leaves him, his penis was contracting. Now he can rest again and let his body calm down. This apparently occurs more quickly in men than in women. The penis becomes flaccid, which is what happens to most men. Wait a while before they can do it again, but it all depends on age, health, and of course, the urge to return to the furnace of passion. Some people just want to sleep at this time. Is this just rudeness or a biological necessity? Well, listen, angry women, science says it's natural. Men have different reasons for wanting to sleep. Although it's obvious, it's usually at night. Fatigue can be normal. Another reason is, when men reach orgasm, they release a lot of pent-up fears. This is also true for women, who may also experience fatigue. However, according to one study, men seem to sleep more after sex. Another thing is brain chemistry. All these chemicals enter the brain. When a man ejaculates, he contains serotonin, oxytocin, norepinephrine, vasopressin, and nitric oxide. Some of these chemicals have been linked to stress relief and willingness to sleep. This may result in a "phew" feeling. Then men want to relax, just like they want after every strenuous exercise. Like an injection of morphine. Obviously this time the blow was much stronger. It is more effective during intercourse than during masturbation. A doctor said this in an interview. For the release of chemicals, they give you a very relaxing feeling, slow down your brain waves and brain function, and ensures a pleasant feeling of fatigue. But it is believed that the hormones released, called prolactin, it's the main reason men want to sleep. It brings you satisfaction, and the less satisfaction you have, the more likely you are to get to the second round sooner. A truly satisfied man may roll over and start snoring. Another thing is that he might want to pee. Reason? Chemicals again. Oxytocin and prolactin affect the kidneys. This sent him running to the bathroom. Some experts also believe it has something to do with cleaning the urethra, the presence of bacteria, a natural need. Or maybe it's just because he held back, in all the chaos. Then he realized the pee wasn't coming out. This is normal because in order for the sperm to come out, your internal sphincter tightens. This helps close the bladder. This is to prevent sperm from entering the bladder. A recent article in Cosmopolitan magazine stated, some people suggest that men who want to be hugged are guardians, but it also means that those who don't may perish. To meet your body's requirements. Your penis may be a little sore. But after moving in together, this is normal. Don't worry, it shouldn't take long. Don't be shocked if your testicles shrink, because this is also normal. A doctor interviewed by Men's Health magazine, here's the explanation: when you ejaculate, cremaster muscle contraction, bringing your testicles closer to your body, they give the impression that they are smaller. Eventually, cramping may occur in the toes. Apparently this happens quite often, but that's just because orgasm brings excitement. In the nerves, especially S1 in the spine, this nerve affects the toes. If you look at some studies, it is also said that some men experience dramatic changes in mood after sex. But given that all these tensions have been eased, all these chemicals pour out, this is not surprising. Some men reported feeling depressed. That's how it should be after a great climax, because a large amount of dopamine is released. It's like quitting drugs. This makes you feel happy or ecstatic. As we will see, for women the feelings can be similar. So what should women do after sex? Well, women may not always reach orgasm. According to an article in Psychology Today, it cites multiple studies. About half of women orgasm regularly. About 20% of women rarely experience orgasm during intercourse. 20% of people orgasm frequently and 5% never orgasm. If they do, that's not the same as a big push from one person toward the sun, as women say, rapid, rhythmic contractions. This could be a big deal. Some women can definitely see it in their faces. Sometimes it looks like they are having ecstatic experiences. These shock waves went through her genitals, her anus, her uterus and pelvis. She will also have a wonderful impulse. Chemicals flowed through her brain. She may experience female ejaculation. Then, milky white fluid came out of her urethra. Don't worry, ladies, there's nothing wrong with that. But what if a lot of fluid comes out? Neurophysiologist at Rutgers University in Newark said, it doesn't come out the same milky thing. A lot, in this case, she said, this is urine diluted with substances from the female prostate. Scientists still don't know why some women do this. Others don't, but it certainly doesn't hurt. According to a 2005 study conducted in the Netherlands, women are more attentive than men during sex. Your mind is completely focused on reaching orgasm. This is because their amygdala and hippocampus regulate your feelings and shut down in some way. They were on the same page about sex, well, at least when they're fully immersed in it. Once we arrive, we return to our bodies and our consciousness realigns. Our emotional intelligence will also return. An article on Bustle talks about this phenomenon. But after sex they came back. Then they'll inject oxytocin, sometimes called cuddle chemicals. One study found that people with high values, testosterone secretion decreases after sexual intercourse. Men generally have higher values. Of course, some women do this too, just not as often. So, guys, next time you turn around, a lack of oxytocin is the culprit. And women may not experience a refractory period at all. This is the break that men need to be ready to do again. Note, teenagers may not need a lot of time off, but then again, for these overly sensual children, sex doesn't always last that long. Women have multiple orgasms, usually they can start over. But be careful, women, because sex can be more painful, more important to you than to men. Women may experience uterine cramps. That's because of the hugging drug oxytocin. Now we call it a double-edged sword of chemicals. Something may also burn, because the vaginal tissue becomes dry, but lubrication can help. Burning does not mean there is a problem, but of course if it lasts longer than a day or two, it could be something else. When men see contractions, women see the opposite, at least on her breasts. Many women's breasts become enlarged after sexual intercourse. For some women, it's even as high as 25%. According to Women's Health magazine, breast swelling varies in degree, from woman to woman. The same article also says, a woman's clitoris. It becomes very small and almost disappears during orgasm. At the same time, women's nipples may become more sensitive, but this is completely natural. Other reports say some women feel dizzy after sex. They feel very confident when other people see their body, much more attractive than before. Most reports we can find state the status. Some women may experience intrusions after sex. It's men who really suffer from depression, sometimes for a week. But as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. Most of the time, it's worth the drive.